My pleasure to welcome each and every one of you. From Team Lattice, we are really excited to have you guys here. Before starting I would like to thank some people. I would like to thank our Dean for being here. I'd like to thank the admission committee, and most importantly, I'd like to thank our chairperson and the MBAEx office, without which this event would have been possible. Lastly, and most importantly, I'd like to thank you guys. I really understand, like, it's such a beautiful day. It's a Saturday morning. In any other day, we would have, preferred to be in our blankets, snuggled up due to our Friday shenanigans. But it really, really means a lot that you guys showed up. So thanks a lot. Lattice, right? For those who are unaware, so Lattice is an annual business conclave. It's being hosted by IIM Calcutta MBAEx program. Every year we are trying to take it one step ahead, and this event is our humble attempt to take that step forward. So whenever we think about innovation, right, like if I just like, what's the first thing that pops up into your mind when you think about innovation? It's most likely blockchain or AI something, which is fair. These tech, by the virtue of their impact, deserves the pedestal that they are. But prima facie, we are business students, right? So is this like just incorporating AI or blockchain? Is it a differentiating factor enough for us? Or there is something else which makes a company stands out? Is there something which takes a startup and takes it in a league of its own? There are many such questions, and I'll ensure that today a lot of these questions will get resolved. So I'll request our dean to follow our tradition, I am Calcutta's legacy, to be on stage and present the stalls to our guests. So just a round of applause for our dean.
Lattice is always very special to all of us, but this year, when the students came with the invitation, I could not resist, the excitement, and I'll tell you why. About a couple of years ago, I remember a question in one of the MBA courses, which was given by my colleague, and I'm sure it would not be repeated now, that if IKEA was coming to Calcutta or somewhere in West Bengal, how would you decide the location? What are the parameters that you would look at? And the question ended by saying that assume that you have access to MapmyIndia. So it's absolutely a pleasure to have you here, and we really look forward to listening to you. Both was completely different. I mean, Aman, the moment I heard it from my office, I called my nephew and niece. Because this is a few years ago that they gave me, and I found it out, it is a weird old boat 225, but I still use it and I'm in love with it. And I think this is pre-COVID that they gave me one of the board, eardrops, it's called. And then during the COVID, my wife, was talking to them and discussing which of the Bluetooth to buy. And they suggested, board this and that, and you go ahead and buy that. And we bought all of that. So I just couldn't resist but call them. They are in Madras. And they were almost jumping out of joy. And they said, is it going to be, online? Because we would also like to listen to Aman then. So we, could sense that excitement amongst us, amongst all of us, and look forward to it. It's absolutely wonderful to start with, and then we have a long day. We have an afternoon sessions with a panel on innovations, and very much look forward to that. I might not be able to attend all the sessions, but we'll come in and go out, which I guess many of us will do. But really look forward to all the sessions, and thank you very much for organizing this, very heavily loaded, excited event. Thanks.
Today we are gathered around to celebrate Lattice, annual business conclave of MBAEx program. It is a privilege for us to associate with Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. HAL heavily invested in R&D, advanced technologies, and follow sustainable practices to position India at top globally. Now let us hear the CMD, Sri Ananthakrishnan, speak a few words about our event and innovations at HAL. Thank you.
Today, HAL is constantly developing innovative solutions to enhance the performance, safety and efficiency of our aircraft and is operating in a challenging ecosystem. This has been possible only because of HAL's thrust on rigorous research and exploring new frontiers in various aspects of aircraft manufacturing. Innovation at HAL is multidimensional. It covers a wide range of areas, from design and manufacturing processes to materials, propulsion systems and avionics. One of the key aspects of innovation in aerospace manufacturing is the adoption of advanced materials and manufacturing techniques. The aerospace industry is witnessing rapid advancement in autonomous systems and artificial intelligence that can enhance the safety and reliability of aerospace systems. HAL is pursuing several AI-based projects currently. AI-based prognostic tool for maintenance of critical helicopter components and AI-based automatic target recognition systems are among them. Technological might of a country drives its global status. According to the Global Innovation Index 2022, India today is ranked at 40th position in the list of 132 countries. However, we are at number 1 among the lower middle income economies. I believe that India needs to be at a much higher level in these rankings, and the major driver is the vast talent pool in India. What we have done in information technology needs to be replicated in other frontiers of technology. The confidence in Indian talent pool by global OEMs can be gauged by the fact that today India houses the global R&D centers for most of them. Rapid push for innovation in this sector is also driven by regulators and the public who are seeking sustainable practices. In order to minimize our carbon footprint, the aerospace sector is now focusing on developing cleaner and more fuel efficient propulsion systems. Research and development efforts are being directed towards alternative fuels, electric propulsion and hybrid systems. To make India totally self-reliant in aerospace and defense, the government has brought in many changes. The government's Atmanirbhar initiative provides impetus for fostering innovation and drives growth in every industry. Initiative and policies like Defence Acquisition Procedure, Srijan Defence Portal, Innovations for Defence Excellence IDEX, setting up for defence industrial production corridors are all encouraging defence organizations like HAL towards building and nurturing an aerospace ecosystem in the country. In conclusion, I urge all the stakeholders and industry leaders representing various areas to embrace a culture of creativity, exploration and collaboration. Let us invest in research and development, advanced technologies and sustainable practices. By doing so, we can position India as a global leader in diverse fields contributing to our nation's technological prowess. Understanding the state of innovation is even more critical than ever, and this is why the theme of this year Lattice 2023 is very relevant. I wish Team Lattice to take forward their legacy and have insightful discussions to create more opportunities for growth and position India as a leader in innovation. I commend the team's efforts in bringing together business leaders, entrepreneurs, management experts, academicians, students, faculty and alumni all at one place. I thank IIM Calcutta for giving me an opportunity to address such a prestigious gathering, and I am sure more innovators and leaders will emerge from this gathering in different fields and make the country proud. Jai Hind.
I am Akshat and I again welcome all of you to Lattice. So let's begin with our first session. A passionate entrepreneur and tech enthusiast. Who I am talking about? Yes, I'm talking about Mr. Rohan Verma, the CEO of MapmyIndia. Rohan needs no introduction, but it's an honor and privilege to speak few words about Rohan. Rohan Verma is on a mission to transform the digital navigational guidance landscape through maps and location technologies. The interactive mapping portal he created at the age of 19, I repeat, he created at the age of 19, which was the first of its kind in India, MapmyIndia.com, has now grown into a formidable firm providing services to Apple, Amazon, Uber, Facebook, and Ministry of Finance. Through his 14 plus years of experience, he focused on bringing significant benefits of map and location technologies to individuals, businesses, and government. He is a technocrat and believes there is limitless potential to make the lives of millions of people better. At his current role as CEO of MapmyIndia, Rohan is driving corporate strategy, growth strategy, sales and marketing technology. He studied electrical engineering at Stanford and did his MBA from London Business School. Rohan is also a board member of a publicly listed Cholamandalam investment and finance company with a loan book of INR 50,000 plus crores, where he advises the company on how to leverage technology and digital innovations for future growth and success. We welcome you, sir, and I request you to please come to the stage and address the gathering. Give a huge round of applause for Mr. Rohan Verma.
I must say I'm also a little bit starstruck to be sitting next to Aman. I mean, both I have a ton of respect for what both has done. Innovation, I think, is core to what they've done. And also he's a really just cool entrepreneur who, of course, we all know from Shark Tank as well, but I've followed him from his boat times before that. So that itself was a big incentive for me to come and talk. And of course, IIM has such a storied legacy. And it's the first IIM, even before Ahmedabad. This is not something well known, but it's something to feel proud of. So I was happy to be invited to talk about MapmyIndia, to talk about innovation unleashed. And I'll hopefully in the next 20 minutes or so, I'll try to tell you our story with the hope that, let 1,000 flowers bloom. You guys are obviously a very well-reputed business school, probably coming from very illustrious undergrad, engineering or non-engineering colleges, probably coming from very good companies. And really the world is your oyster in terms of what you can do, achieve, create impact in the time to come. So hopefully some of the things I say are meaningful and useful to you. MapmyIndia is all about innovation, actually. I am a one and a half generation entrepreneur in the sense that my parents started the company, so I'm definitely not the founder or a 0 to 1 entrepreneur. But I came in at an interesting point in the company's journey and helped create something new. And so I don't say that I'm a second generation entrepreneur in some ways, but of course I am second generation in many ways. So 1.5 generation entrepreneur. So I have some ability to talk about how to innovate and create things from scratch. So the journey of MapmyIndia started in early 90s. My parents had from IIT Roorkee and BITS Pilani were in the US for 12 years in pretty successful careers in General Motors and IBM. And they wanted to come back to India in 1990 because they wanted to do something unique for the country. And in 93, my father was in the US at a conference where he saw digital maps being used by businesses where color coding of states were happening by the intensity of sales. It was kind of a heat map showing where sales are happening, where sales are not. And that was just phenomenal to him to see back in early 90s, kind of a use case around digital maps or location technology. And he had this vision that, which he talked about at conferences, that someday 80% of all data would have a location component to it, which in the early 90s was just, people didn't even understand what those words meant, let alone believe it. And he said this in a conference in India, and people just called him crazy. But today, if you see, 80% of all data does have a location component to it. And with that vision, he figured out that digital maps could be really useful in terms of bringing the benefits of location technology to everybody. And but no digital maps existed in the country then. There was no such product. The Indian government didn't have digital maps. The last time India had been mapped was at the time of the British, 50, 60, 70 years ago. And they had physical maps that too quite outdated. And so his entrepreneurial idea, or the niche that he figured out, was if they could build a digital map data product, meaning they could map India digitally and make it into a product, that could be a moat. It could be a unique asset which could generate a business by bringing benefits and use cases of digital maps to everybody. So that was the thesis then, and even though people called them crazy, back in 1995, they started to build digital maps, walking and driving millions of kilometers across the country, collecting data, location data of buildings, of roads, of places, of addresses, and really creating these digital maps. And their idea was always that create use cases, create benefits of digital maps so that businesses could benefit, organizations could benefit, and eventually individuals can benefit. And the first use case or customer that they got was Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola had just re-entered India in 95. They had bought Thumbs Up. They had been driven out during emergency, and they came back to India. You might have studied about it. And they had bought over Thumbs Up, and all the bottling plants or bottlers, they wanted to understand what the territories were. There were just these legal contracts then where in text it was written, this bottler's territory is along this river, past this village, etc. Now, but how did somebody sitting in the US understand the territories? So they wanted to visualize it on a digital map, where the gaps were in coverage, where the overlaps were. And so they came to my parents and said that, can you show us a digital map with these territories kind of marked so that we can understand where the gaps and overlaps are? And that kind of, that was the first use case. So my parents never raised money for the first 10 years of the company. And it is a Harvard Business Review case study in customer-funded business models. Actually, the Professor John Mullins from London Business School, and he's a visiting faculty at ISB, wrote about this, where this was a customer-funded business model, not a VC-funded business model, but tons of enterprise companies would come to MapmyIndia and ask for use cases, whether it was Coca-Cola, whether it was Qualcomm, when they were setting up the telecom towers, where to set up the site so that you can cover maximum population, with the minimum amount of capital infrastructure. And that was the journey of the first 10 years of creating this digital map data product, which, as you can imagine, India's 3.3 million square kilometers, or 66 lakh road kilometers. This is a massive Herculean task to create the digital map of India from scratch, from the ground up. Remember, Google didn't even exist in the world as a company in the mid-90s. And Google Maps as a product actually came alive only in 2005 in the US. My journey came in 2004. I was at Stanford finishing my first year. And my father said, look, we've been deploying these maps for enterprises in a desktop environment. But can we not democratize access and benefits of maps and location tech to consumers over the internet? And I said, yeah, I've been studying internet technologies in my first year. So I can help build this internet mapping platform, internet portal. And so for the first, so that summer after my first year, 3 months I spent in the company in Delhi. And first 2 weeks, basically I researched. All there was to figure out, is there anything like this in India? There was nothing. But there were some global corollaries, like MapQuest, Yahoo Maps. In Singapore, there was something. In Australia, in UK. And I immersed myself in researching the technology, but also the use cases, so that I could build my own vision for what the future of mapping could be, what the future benefits could be of this internet technology. And the next 2-3 months just sat down with a programmer, with a designer, and built out this product, which we launched to great fanfare back in 2004. Because for the first time, somebody in India could search for their village, get directions to it, find places nearby. Of course, the journey then kind of took off, because as we put it on the internet, more use cases started to happen. Make My Trip started to use us to show hotels nearby. Magic Bricks would give locality kind of maps to people to understand which localities were interesting to stay in. Then in 2007, what we did was we brought out a GPS navigation system. We figured that, just having an internet mapping portal where people could search for maps and directions, print it and go, is not going to solve the problem for users. It's going to partially solve the problem. So why can't there be a real-time voice navigation system? It was prevalent in the US, in Europe, in Japan, etc. Garmin was very popular in the US as a GPS navigation system. We went to a bunch of companies and we said that, why don't you use our maps and build these systems? And they said, look, who in India is going to use maps? Who in India is going to pay for maps, etc., or these solutions? And so they said no. But we had this conviction. And Garmin, despite being the world leader and having the best hardware, etc., us not even being a hardware company, we built our maps, built our software, brought hardware in, built a product, and actually had 80-90% market share in the GPS navigation system market, the portable devices, back in 2008, 9, 10, and drove this global giant out of the Indian market in that category. This gave us tons of confidence. So when Google Maps started to come in 2007, 8, 9 in India, and then had this unfair advantage of monopolizing the Android operating system, where they went preloaded. Despite us having a better app, despite us having better maps at the time, it was an unfair distribution advantage that they had. It was anti-competitive, but we couldn't do anything. We were a small company. So we had two choices then. We could have kind of tried to fight this unfair fight head-on, be in the consumer market, or we could pivot. And at that time, we chose to strategically pivot. We said go back to our B2B roots. We'll do B2B, B2B2C. We'll step back from consumer side, and we'll build a healthy business. And actually, the journey since then became quite interesting. Every year, more enterprises across sectors started to use us. The automotive companies said, we would like to bundle your maps and software into cars. So we have 80-90% market share when it comes to the automotive market, four-wheelers, two-wheelers, which come with maps and navigation. Enterprises like e-commerce companies, mobility companies, Apple, like Apple Maps is powered by MapmyIndia. Alexa, if you ask her a question, how far is the airport from you? She'll say, according to MapmyIndia, it is 1 hour away or 10 kilometers away. The goods and service tax network of the country, Central Board of Direct Taxes, uses us to geocode taxpayers to figure out through analytics and AI, where shell companies are, where tax evasion is happening, and that is one of the drivers of growth in tax revenue. So we found use cases and customers across segments. We continue to build out our products. We continue to build out platforms. We're not an IT services company. We're a deep tech products and platform digital company, and built a very profitable, very fast-growing business. And as a result, in December 2021, we IPO'd This is despite people saying Google Maps is so popular and what could be the future for a company like MapmyIndia. But when people started to see that we had a 30% profit after tax, 40% EBITDA margins, and not adjusted, just like genuine, spitting out cash, 100 crores per year, as a net cash flow in, I think they realized that the strong financial fundamentals on a strong business model built on B2B and B2B2C, based on innovating to create infinite use cases, was something that could build a strong company. And this journey continues. We service all sorts of enterprise companies, FMCG, retail, D2C companies, logistics companies, banking and financial sector uses us very interestingly. Manufacturing companies use us, all sorts of solutions, maps, IoT, now drone-based solutions. But also we built an API platform because we wanted to enable app developers to build their own great experiences. And so not just did we become a product company with multiple products in the digital world to service various use cases, various SaaS softwares for workforce automation or geospatial analytics, but also we built an API platform so that app developers could build great experiences, whether it's a PhonePe or Paytm to show you where PhonePe or Paytm is accepted nearby, or whether it's the CoWIN platform of Government of India, which would want to show you vaccine centers nearby. And that really unleashed this AWS for maps from India kind of growth. But always what drove me as an entrepreneur has been to innovate, to create infinite use cases for our company. For our company, by having infinite use cases, I can keep kind of creating larger and larger addressable markets for our company. This assures me that there are many growth engines that can lead to sustainable growth, diversified growth for our company in the future. If one door shuts the way Google had shut the B2C market for us for 10, 15 years, there'll be other doors to open for our company. But also it's because I believe that there are so many innovative use cases we can do to improve the world. And so when COVID hit, for example, immediately our team got to work to map out testing centers, treatment centers, containment zones, so that people could simply see where the nearest one was and how to get there. In that kind of like stress of COVID, this information would be super useful. Or when all this waterlogging and flooding has happened this year in different parts of the country, through our app and platform, we're giving these waterlogging alerts nearby. So that kind of vision to make the world better through maps and technology is something that has driven me, and innovating continuously to think of new use cases, whether on the metaverse, whether through map-based AI, whether through IoT or drones. This is what we are known for now. And interestingly, we're at an interesting point now where on the B2C side, we're large enough and bold enough to attempt to take on this global giant head-on this time, 15 years later after we retreated from the B2C market. And Mapple's app, this is our consumer-facing app. I hope you're proud to know that this indigenously built Swadeshi app, despite a giant monopolizing the operating system, going preloading on hundreds of millions of phones, actually Mapple's app touched the top of the App Store rankings. It dethroned Google Maps just a month or two ago. And we've had millions of downloads just in the last couple of months. And this is really backed based on product and tech innovation. Like when you're approaching a flyover in Google Maps, you'll see two squiggly lines. It's confusing, whether flyover ke upar chadna hai ki niche, whether you have to climb or avoid the flyover. But in Mapple's app, you can see that. We tell you the current road speed limits or where speed cameras are. We tell you where speed breakers or potholes are. These are all innovations which are meant for India and Indians. And this is not something that Google Maps offers. We have gone deeply hyper-local to really solve the problems of use cases. We've been nimble. We've been deep tech. I believe our technology is at the cutting edge, no less than a Google. For example, there was this big viral WhatsApp last year going around called Google Immersive View, where they were showing Big Ben in 3D. Actually, MapmyIndia already has these 3D metaverse maps. So while they're talking about it, we are doing it. And so the journey going forward for us would essentially be, can we keep innovating? Can we keep fighting in the market? Can we keep building great products? Can we build a culture within the company to not give up, to persist, to persevere? I mean, frankly, it's been 19 years since I myself have been involved. I'm 38 today. Since 19, I've been working on this through school, through college or MBA and otherwise full-time. With this idea, ultimately, that I do believe that Indian entrepreneurs, and Boat and Aman are a great example, that can build the best brands, the best companies, not just for India, but also globally. It's India's time to shine. It's India's truly decade. And I really hope that folks like you take the baton and take India to higher heights. I truly believe it's possible. Indian talent, Indian entrepreneurs are no less than the rest of the world. Wealth creation should happen in India. It's sad to me sometimes to see people go abroad and stay there. They have their reasons to do that, but no longer is it needed. India is a comfortable country to stay in. All the future vests with India, and we together can make an impact. And we'll do this in innovative ways. The government has also shown the way through digital public infrastructure. This is innovation differently than how the rest of the world has innovated on digital. You must have read about these, the guardrails that they've put in, the structural changes to democratize access to technology and create infrastructure on which great companies in payments and otherwise have been able to build. So India is the place for innovation. India is the future. And I hope MapmyIndia's story and lessons that we've learned and the way we've gone about innovating and competing inspires you in some small way or meaningful way to build your own great impact. And I hope that even you think of partnering with MapmyIndia in different ways as you go around your entrepreneurial journey in the future. So thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak to you.
Thank you, Rohan, for the amazing session. And can we have a huge round of applause for Rohan?
Thank you, and I am looking forward to this talk because he's a celeb. Aman, looking forward to your talk. Thank you.
The second keynote speaker, who actually needs no introduction, but I'll still go ahead. He started his career as a CA, went on to pursue MBA from ISB. He worked with multiple MNCs like Citi, KPMG, and Herman International. Bolstered by his successful entrepreneurial ventures, he eventually founded Boat, a made-in-India, for-the-world D2C lifestyle brand. Boat is the world's 5th largest wearable brand globally, and Forbes' Outstanding Startup of the Year 2022. He then achieved yet another remarkable milestone by becoming a shark at Shark Tank India Season 1 and 2, helping entrepreneurs grow their businesses. On a funny note, his witty memes and catchphrases became so viral that even Manchester City posted a "Hum bhi bana lenge" meme on their official Instagram handle in 2022. Serving as the chairman of the D2C Council of India, his list of achievements is nothing short of awe-inspiring. That includes ET 40 Under 40 and Forbes Business Tycoon 2021, Entrepreneur Magazine's Entrepreneur of the Year and GQ Man of the Year 2022. No prizes for guessing, he's none other than Mr. Aman Gupta. Aman, the IIM Calcutta family is truly honored to have you here. We now invite you to grace the stage and address this esteemed gathering. Let us all join together in a resounding round of applause for Aman. Aman and Rohan, if you could just come on stage to distribute the prizes to the 3 winners. I would hand over the mic to Mayank to take it forward from here.
We have a first winner for the real competition, and it is Ashwin from PGDBA.
We request Dean NIR, Professor Manish Thakur, to please come up on stage and honor them with a memento for us. Professor Thakur, any 2 words before I do the vote of thanks?
2 words. I was listening to both of them, Aman and Rohan. Their journey gives all of us this immense faith that in India we can do and sab kuch ho sakta hai. That's all. Thank you.
First of all, can we give a big round of applause to everybody who's in the auditorium? Most importantly, let's start with PGPs. Thank you for coming here. Give them a big round of applause, the ones who've come. All the PGDBA, LDP, and doctoral students who've come here, please give them a big round of applause. And MBAEx students, you deserve the applause for yourself. We have our special MBAEx alums, wo jo seat pe hai, 3 dikh rahe hai, Srijita, Chandan, and Shaunak over there. Please give them a big round of applause. Alums, thank you for the support always. Rohan, you have no idea how much you and your entire work is discussed in all MBA spaces, right? Big round of applause. Thank you for coming. And Aman sir, सिर्फ इतना बोलना है कि the truest and coolest Gen Z जो दिखने को मिल रहा है वो आप हैं, right? I don't see anybody more Gen Z than you. I think the greatest vote of thanks should go to somebody called Priya, who's Laksh's sister, right? She deserves it the most. Can we give a standing ovation to everybody? And the Lattice team, thank you so much. Please come up on the stage.